Hey guys, it's Vic. How you doing? I wanted to talk to you today about dumbbell bench press. Now, there's a few things that I see people in the gym doing that are a little bit dangerous, so I wanted to point them out. The first thing is that dumbbell benching is very similar to going on an airplane, right? There's two dangerous parts, really the most dangerous parts about being on a plane. It's the takeoff and the landing. So the same thing is sort of true with dumbbell benching. Now, think about this. The first thing you do is you take the weights, right? You pick them up and then you put them on your knees and then you sit down on the bench and then you try to kick yourself back, right? Which is sort of a weird movement in and of itself. There's another way you could go. It could be by having somebody hand you the dumbbells when you're already on the bench. But if you think about it, if they're handing you one at a time, you're kind of moving this way and then this way, which is also probably just as dangerous. So let's talk to the folks who don't have three spotters to spot them and then put the dumbbells in their hands. Let's just talk about the kickback method. Now, when you go back, try to keep the weights as close to your midsection as possible, and then when you get back on the bench, when you do that roll, so to speak, then bring them up, as compared to flinging them up and then coming down like this. So that could create an injury. But the part that I'm most concerned about is actually the very end. And I've seen folks actually, when they want to put the weights back, they think they're doing the right thing by kind of sitting back up with the weights because they don't want to disturb anyone by dropping them. And this is the highest risk for an injury at this part of the movement, because I've seen a lot of people get injured, actually a groin injury as a result of this, an abdomen injury also as a result of this. You're better off dropping the weights and disturbing the people in the gym just for that minute. Everybody will understand, trust me. Another thing I wanted to talk about, aside from safety with respect to bench press, is also breathing. Now, I've noticed a lot of folks get stuck, right? They're here and they're get stuck like this, and all you have to do if you get in this position, right, and if you have dumbbells, is breathe. Let the air out, because you'd be surprised how sometimes it just kind of moves its way up. So if you find yourself stuck, remember to breathe, and breathe throughout the movement so that you kind of have oxygen to move you throughout the workout. So instead of this, try not to pick up a lot of tension in here. Try to let the air move the weight, and you'll find that a little bit easier to do. The other thing is, how do you control the muscles throughout the exercise so that you get the most benefit from the dumbbell bench? Now, of course, I've talked about posture in the past, how your chest should be out, shoulder blades together, and when you move up, you push this way as compared to this way. So think of it as not pushing your back into the bench, rather pushing your chest up. But what I've noticed is a lot of folks do this in sort of a herky-jerky kind of movement, and I think they're missing their chest. And part of that comes into play because they're trying to squeeze their chest at the top because they heard that that's a good thing. But if you do the movement, complete the movement, let me give you one example. Let's say that I want to squeeze my chest at the top. Don't focus on pushing the weights up and then squeezing, if you will. Make sure you're moving the weights with the chest throughout the entire movement and squeezing throughout the movement, as compared to moving the weights up, then flexing. Moving the weights up and flexing. That's not how you do it. You move the weights up and keep the focus on the chest throughout the exercise and squeeze from the beginning of the movement, and that's where you can really achieve that intense contraction. This is just flexing with weights in your hand. So the weights are providing very little benefit at this point to that particular concentration. So when you're moving it and flexing sort of throughout the exercise, okay, then the weights are helping you create the contraction in your chest, as compared to you creating it by yourself after the rep is through. So a couple things I just wanted to point out. I wish you folks all the best. Check me out on Facebook and www.vicsnatural.com. All the best. Peace, love, and muscles.